What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. It's a hot one today, but it's garlic harvest time. That's right, it's everybody's favorite time of year, and it's probably my favorite time of year as well, because I love harvesting vegetables that are underneath the soil. You never know what you're gonna get. You know, things like potatoes, carrots, onions, garlic, stuff that lies underneath the soil surface. It's so exciting because I haven't seen what I've got yet, and I've been growing it since last fall, so it's kind of one of those kind of, did I waste 6 months of space and time, or am I going to be rewarded for all that time and effort that I put in? Now, if it looks like I'm ready to spontaneously combust, that's because it is about 93 degrees out today. And for those of you, I know 93 degrees is probably hot just about anywhere, but especially in Michigan, combining that with the humidity that's getting pulled off of the lake, the real feel index is kind of what they're calling it. That's kind of like the heat index, what it feels like to you. It feels like 101, they said. So that's hot. That's hot. I think just about anywhere you live, that's hot. And so the plants are kind of all kind of stressed out right now. But the one nice thing is that it's actually great. It's a great time to harvest your garlic. When it's nice and hot and dry, is a perfect time to harvest garlic, because it's going to make sure that any moisture that's in the soil is gone. We have not watered this garlic for a good probably week and a half or so. And that way, all the moisture that's in the soil has had a chance to leave. That's going to make sure that any moisture that's near the heads, near the cloves of garlic, is going to be gone. Because the drier the cloves are, actually the longer the shelf life. The garlic is a bulb, and so it holds moisture in those paper wrappings around the head of garlic. So if you harvest garlic when it's nice and you know the soil's nice and wet, a lot of people like to do that because they think it's easier to harvest their garlic. This is true, it's way easier, but would you rather have a more difficult time harvesting your garlic but let it, but have it last 3 months longer, or would you rather pull it up when it's, just totally wet out, easy to pull up, but you only get 2 to 3 months of shelf life versus like 6 to 9 months? Just something to think about. But I don't mind a little extra effort to get the garlic out, but these are nice and dry. And the other thing you want to look for is you want to look for the garlic to be about 50% brown. Goodness gracious, there's actually sweat dripping in my eyes. It's so hot out today. But but you want the garlic to be about 50% brown. That makes sure that it's dead enough and it's not going to continue growing at all. But it's also, you don't want it to be so dead that it basically falls completely over and turns completely brown, because then you have a chance of the garlic actually being overly mature, would be a weird way of putting it. But garlic, if it sits in the ground too long, will start to divide, and it actually will split the heads open and it will splay the bulbs out, because that's its way of kind of separating itself. And it separates itself just enough so that those plants can then grow. And that's how garlic actually multiplies under the soil. It grows ahead, it splits the bulbs, those grow up, and it's just enough distance and space for them to survive and thrive the following year. So fun fact for you guys, but you don't want that to happen, because that also negatively impacts the shelf life. So with that being said, let's get this garlic pulled up and let's see what we got. I wasn't sure how our garlic would turn out this year, just because of how dry the spring was. It was actually very, very dry. And as you know, we do not irrigate our garden. We only rely on rainwater and kind of emergency watering if need be. And garlic, since it's an early spring crop, it was considered an early spring crop because it's one of the first things to germinate. It actually needs a lot of water to size up. And so drier years will yield smaller heads. Check out the size of this one. Look at that. It's a really good head of garlic right there. Very good head of garlic. But again, this is what you want to look for. See how this is dead, dead, dead. The top still has some green. That's the perfect time to harvest your garlic. Oh my goodness. This is the largest head of garlic that I've grown this year, and it may be one of the largest garlic heads that I've ever grown. I mean, this is not an elephant garlic, so it's obviously not as large as they can get, but elephant garlic is not really a true garlic. But check it out. That is absolutely massive. That's a great head of garlic. So a lot of people ask me if applying fertilizer while the plant is growing is going to yield a larger plant. And I guess it sounds good in theory that if you fertilize, the plant should grow larger and a larger plant should give a larger head of garlic. However, that's not actually in reality how that whole thing works. You see, the garlic head is comprised of cloves, and each clove is varying sizes. The cloves on the outside are typically larger than, well, they're always larger, I should say, not typically larger. They're always larger than the cloves on the inside. So when you're planting seed garlic in the fall, it's recommended to plant the largest cloves so that you have the largest plants, because the plants are actually regulated by how large the cloves are. The cloves hold the energy for the following year. So if you fertilize a small clove, you're still only going to get a healthier, smaller plant. It's not going to be a large plant just magically by fertilizing. It just doesn't work that way. So in the fall, what we'll do is we apply fertilizer to give the plant, a good healthy start. We really aid the root system in getting developed. We give the plant a fighting chance to grow the following year when it breaks dormancy. But we're not trying to grow a bigger plant in hopes of getting a bigger head of garlic, because it just doesn't work that way. So, but I know that's a common question. People always want to treat it, like other plants in the garden, where they think, the more fertilizer you put on it, the bigger and healthier it's going to be. And that's just not how it works. We're getting into some of the hardneck varieties. You can tell they're a hardneck because they produce a scape. Now, a scape is the flower stalk, and we typically cut off the flower stalk because it reroutes energy back into the bulb. Now, we cut that off as soon as possible. As soon as it starts to form, we'll clip that off. And that way we have the best chance of saving all of that energy that was supposed to produce a nice big bulb. Because again, the energy is stored in that bulb in the fall. It's going to say, biologically, I can produce this whole plant plus a flower stalk. But if you clip that off, it's going to say, well, I can't produce a flower stalk, so I might as well focus on creating a larger bulb. And the larger bulb is obviously the head. So you're going to get a larger head by clipping off that flower stalk there. But very, very nice. And yeah, very pleased with that. And that's what defines hardneck versus softneck as well, is that the hardneck varieties have to make room for that flower stalk. So in the center of the garlic head is actually what's called the basal plate. That's what all these roots are attached to, is the basal plate. And the cloves are attached to the basal plate as well. But coming through the center of the basal plate is the flower stalk. And so that's what gives it a hard neck. Rather than a soft neck, there is no flower. They don't flower. They actually do not produce flowers. So they only produce cloves. And so you typically, when you plant softneck varieties, you get more cloves per head just because there's no flower stalk in the center. Again, just more trade-offs between the varieties that you plant, but in a colder climate, you might not be able to plant softneck varieties. These are gorgeous, absolutely stunning this year. Very pleased. I've had very few garlic that I would consider to be runts. That's about our average size right there. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful these are, you guys. Look at this. Look at that. That right there is stunning. Absolutely stunning. All right. Oh my goodness, you guys. It is hot out. I don't know if you can see or not, but my shirt is absolutely just drenched. And I have sweat running down my face. But I'll tell you what, it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding to come out here and realize that, yeah, I'm putting in some sweat equity, but I didn't have to go to the grocery store and buy this. I grew this myself. It's so rewarding to know that I grew this myself, and my family does not have to rely on any other outside sources for their garlic for this year. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to turn some of this garlic, the healthiest, largest heads of garlic, are going to be turned into seed garlic for next year's harvest. So not only am I producing food security, but I'm also producing seed security as well. So I apologize that it's so hot out. Like I said, I am very pleased. I'm very pleased with what we got. And you should be too. A lot of people write in, they say, you know, I only grew 10 heads of garlic this year. I'm kind of bummed, I should have planted more. And you know, you can kick yourself for what you should have done, but you know what you can do is you can take that actually as a learning experience and go forward with it with positivity rather than focus on something you can't control. You can control how much you plant in the future. So just keep that in mind, you know, just don't kick yourself. And also, if you didn't have a good harvest at all, I hopefully gave you some tips in this video that are gonna help you. And we also do have several garlic growing guides as well that can help you to not only learn how to plant your garlic, how much to space it apart, the varieties, the types, you know, how much to fertilize, when to fertilize, watering, mulching, all that stuff is covered in our growing guides. So you can actually check those out as well if you didn't have a good garlic harvest this year. But I am very pleased. I'm gonna do my annual garlic, my garlic bouquet. Everyone always likes when I do that. So here is our garlic bouquet for this year. Very pleased with that. And to be honest, this is still super heavy. Now, I've got every head of garlic, every plant. I think total plant weight I would estimate to be maybe like 45 pounds. It's pretty heavy. Once you take out the plant weight and the garlic dries out a little bit, we might be looking at around 15 to 20 pounds of garlic. So very, very pleased with that. Cannot complain. Organically grown, heirloom garlic, softneck and hardneck varieties. I think it's a really good year. So very, very pleased with this. And also the garlic that we grew, every head almost was at least 1.5 inches or larger. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. If you have not yet had a chance to plant garlic, we will be carrying garlic in the store this year. We carry it every year at MIgardener.com. You can go over there, join the wait list, and then when we get it in, we have a local grower that's producing it for us locally. And I guess that's pretty redundant, yeah, but yes, we have a local grower that's growing for us, and we're gonna be getting that in within the next month and a half or so after they pull it, dry it, and cure it. So yeah, so make sure you join the wait list if you wanna try growing garlic next year. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I gotta get out of the sun because I'm gonna melt. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next episode. As always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow big or go home, stay hydrated, stay cool, and we'll catch you all on the next episode. Bye.